Assalamualaikum, my name is Anith Laila Fei and today I will present Chapter 1, Introduction to Research Methodology. Introduction. The service sector is one of the sectors that impetus for economic development. This sector is a key pillar of service in the organization in various fields such as banking, healthcare, hospitality, telecommunication, and so on. In today's competitive environment, most organizations would agree and recognize that service quality is essential for them to become winner by consistently meeting or exceeding customer expectation. Background of the study. Every public healthcare service that is set up wants a good environment and successful. Among the factors that determine a successful organization are to be excellent and productive employee. Then an organization is responsible to ensuring that the level of job satisfaction among employees is in good condition. Nowadays, increased competition has influenced both private and public service-oriented organizations everywhere but mostly in developing countries. Therefore, in order to survive, organization has to deliver service that satisfies consumer service quality has increasingly been considered the key factor in differentiate service, which also bring competitive advantage such as improved customer retention, positive word of mouth, reduced level of staff migration, decreased costs in attracting new consumer, increased profitability and financial performance, increased customer satisfaction, and enlarged market share. Next is research objective. Firstly, to determine the level of patient satisfaction among respondents. Secondly, to identify the factor of healthcare service quality that influence on patient satisfaction among respondents. And lastly, to investigate the most influential factor that contribute to patient satisfaction among respondents. Now, I will explain about research question. Firstly, what is the level of patient satisfaction among respondents? Second, what are the factors of healthcare service quality that influence on patient satisfaction among respondents? Lastly, what is the most influence factors that contribute to patient satisfaction among respondents? Next, I will explain about significance of study. This study was done for the student of University Technology Mara campus in Puncak Alam to identify the influence of healthcare service quality of patient satisfaction through studying the 5 major dimensions of service quality, which are tangible, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. As essential component of SQL instrument will basically help to capture information on patient need, expectation, and perception as to assess their satisfaction about the service they receive.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatin Amira and I will be presenting on chapter 2, which is research framework and research hypothesis. So the influence of healthcare service quality of patient satisfaction, which is we did the case study on UITM Health Center, which for the independent variables is tangible, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy, and the dependent variable, which is patient satisfaction. Okay, next for research hypothesis, which is firstly, there is a significant relationship between tangible and service quality of patient satisfaction. Next is there is a significant relationship between reliability and service quality of patient satisfaction. Third, which is there is a significant relationship between responsiveness and service quality of patient satisfaction. Fourth, there is a significant relationship between assurance and service quality of patient satisfaction. Lastly, is there is a significant relationship between empathy and passion and service quality of patient satisfaction. Okay, for chapter 3, which is research methodology, for introduction, this chapter discuss the methodology used to gain useful information to implement on this study. Okay, what will be discussed further is about the design research, data collection methods, sampling design, and research timeline or duration. So this study was conducted using correlational methods because we want to find out which variables are relevant. Okay, so firstly is purpose of study, which is causal research. This main goal of research is to identify the cause and effect relationship between variables. Okay, next for the type of investigation, which in this study the researcher is using correlation study. Okay, a correlation is the relationship indicates at least two concepts or variables more simultaneously. So in this study, have two variables, which is independent variable that are tangibles, reliability, responsiveness, assurance and empathy, and the dependent variable is patient satisfaction. So all these elements lead to patient satisfaction that are required researcher used in the study towards students of Faculty of Education UiTM Puncak Alam consists semester 3, 4 and 5. So for the extent of researcher, the extent is to which the researcher interference is minimal due to the reason that a study does not change the flow of work for student. Okay, for the study setting, which in this study is to estimate the level of patient satisfaction at UiTM Puncak Alam Healthcare Center based on the 5 dimensions of SERVCO model. Okay, so for the unit of analysis, which is it refers to the aggregation of the data collected during the subsequent data analysis stage. Okay, so for the time horizon, which it is used in this research is one shot, which is cross-sectional. Okay, for the population, which is it is the students of semester 3, 4 and 5 of Faculty of Education who had received treatment at Healthcare Center in UiTM Puncak Alam. So next, for the sampling size is the 120 students, which are among the students of semester 3, 4 and 5 from the Bachelor of Education Honours in Physical and Health Education, Tasha, Art and Design. Okay, other than that is Bachelor of Education Honours in Science Education in Biology, Chemistry, Mathematics and Physics in UiTM Puncak Alam. So for the survey instrument, which a questionnaire was used in gathering data. The questionnaire has 3 parts, which the students of semester 3, 4 and 5 at Faculty of Education in UiTM Puncak Alam were asked to rate the statement based on the 5-point Likert scale from numeral 1 as strongly disagree to numerical 5 as strongly disagree. So for the plans for data analysis, which is the plan is critical because it tells the reader what analysis will be conducted to examine each of the research hypotheses in the plan data. Data cleaning, transformation and assumptions of the analysis will be addressed. Okay, so the data will analyze from the questionnaire collected from respondents using statistical package for social science software SPSS in version 2.21.0 as a tool for analyzing data collected from the respondent. The study tested on Pearson correlation and partial correlation and mean. Okay, the Pearson study test used to analyze the relationship between variables. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Nurfarahin Tasha binti Omar. I will discuss about chapter 4. For the introduction, the main purpose of this study is to discuss the relationships between service quality towards patient satisfaction at UiTM Healthcare Center, Puncak Alam, Selangor. For the data cleaning, based on the table 4.2.1, the data was complete because there are no missing value. It showed all respondents answer all the questions that given in the questionnaire. Next, for the table part. For part 3, the respondents are 49.2%. For the part 4, the respondents are 45%. Last, for the part 5 is 8.5%. For table cost, the highest respondents are from art and design student, which is at 32.5%. For the lowest respondents are from science education major physics, which is at 1.7%. Next, I will discuss about frequency and respondent receive treatment at UiTM Healthcare Center. For the highest data is at the 1 to 2 times, which is at 69.2% total respondents. For the lowest data is at 7 to 8 times, which is at 3.3%. Next table is the last time respondent received treatment at UiTM Healthcare Center. The majority of respondents received treatment the last time is within the last semester, which is 29.2%. The lowest is within the last week, which is at 20%. Okay, for the last table is about the type of treatment. The highest data is normal treatment, fever, flu, headache, and et al., which is at 73.3%. Next is the medical checkup, which is at 8.3%, followed by appointment follow-up, which is at 1.7%. Next is for the normality results. All tangible are normal remarks, which is the normality results is based on the screeners, which is at acceptable range value between the number of negative 1.2 to 1.82. Next is summary of reliability results. For all independent variables, the results are excellent, while for the patient satisfaction, the result is good. Okay, for summary, mean and standard deviations, the highest score for mean is assurance, which is the mean is at 3.49. For the lowest mean is refer to empathy, which is the mean is 3.38. Last but not least, I will discuss about the Pearson correlation coefficients. Based on the result, there is a positively significant relationships between tangible and towards patient satisfaction, which is the relationships is 0.76. The strength of relation for both variables is strong relationships. Next, the Pearson correlation coefficients study was used to determine the relationships between reliability towards patient satisfaction. The result shows there are positive significant relationships between both variables, which is at 0.74. The strength of relationships for both variables is strong relationships. The results also shows there is a positive significant relationships between responsiveness and patient satisfaction, which is at negative 0.69. The strength of relationships for both variables is moderate relationships. Furthermore, the result shows a positive significant relationships between assurance and patient satisfaction, which is at negative 0.69. The strength of relationship for both variables is moderate relationships. Lastly, the Pearson correlation coefficient study was used to determine the relationship between empathy between patient satisfactions. Based on the results, there is a positive significant relationships between both variables, which is at 0.64. The strength of relationship for both variables is moderate relationships.
Okay, my name is Shuhada binti Abdullah Sani. I will discuss about the chapter 5. This chapter will discuss in detail the finding that has been presented in the chapter 4 and conclude the research. This chapter also an attempt to answer the research question beside achieving the research objective. There are few parts in this chapter. First part is the analysis of the independent and dependent variable, while part 2 is the discussion on the relationship between independent and dependent variable. Apart from that, there is a conclusion that will be concluded in this chapter. Last but not least, this chapter will also be presented the summary of the whole study to construct the findings. I will discuss about the analysis of independent variable and dependent variable. Based on the result obtained in the chapter 4, the mean score for tangible is 0.501 standard deviation. Next, beside that, the mean score for reliability is 0.66284 standard deviation. It means that most of the respondents felt dissatisfied on reliability that provided by the UiTM healthcare. Next, the mean score for responsiveness is the 0.57516 standard deviation. It means that most of the respondents felt neutral on responsiveness that provided by UiTM healthcare. Furthermore, the mean score for assurance is 0.56041 standard deviation. It means that the most of the respondents feel neutral on the assurance that provided by the UiTM healthcare center to them. Besides that, the mean score for empathy is 0.71675 standard deviation. It means that the most of respondents feel neutral on the empathy that provided by the UiTM healthcare center to them. For an example, they feel neutral with the staff that are willingness to help them. Lastly, the mean score for patient satisfaction is 0.7016 standard deviation. It means that most of respondents feel dissatisfied on the patient satisfaction that provided by UiTM Healthcare Center to them. Next, I will talk about discussion or relationship between independent variable and dependent variable. Tangible and patient satisfaction. The strength of relationship between both variable is moderate. It can be concluded that if the service quality factor of tangible accommodation, facility, appearance, equipment is better provided towards patient, then the level patient satisfaction will be increased. Next, the relationship between reliability and the patient satisfaction. The strength of relationship between both variables is moderate. It can be concluded that if the service quality factor of reliability, which means availability, willingness, speed, response is better provided toward the patient, then the level of patient satisfaction will be increased. Next, responsiveness and patient satisfaction. The strength of relationship between both variables is moderate. It can be concluded that if the service quality factor of responsiveness such prompt service, friendliness, information needs is better provided toward patient, then the level patient satisfaction will be increased. Next, assurance and patient satisfaction. The strength of relationship between both variables is also moderate. It can be concluded that if the service quality factor of assurance, which is maintenance, confidence, do the right thing, behavior, safe, is better provided toward the patient, then the level of patient satisfaction will be increased. Okay, last but not least is about empathy and patient satisfaction. The strength of relationship between both variables is also moderate. It can be concluded that if the service quality factor of empathy, like courtesies, better provided to a patient, then the level of patient satisfaction will be increased. The level of patient satisfaction is depend on the empathy provided by UiTM Healthcare Center such as courtesies. Okay, to be concluded, as a conclusion, the finding of this study has shown that the level of patient satisfaction among students who receive treatment in UiTM Healthcare Center is good condition, which is the mean is 3.49, the standard deviation is 0.702. That means most of the respondents are satisfied with the service quality. Okay. The last I will explain about recommendation. The recommendation of this study is very important for the academic purpose respondent, university staff and organization itself. There are several recommendations that have been developed for the future for the organization itself. Based on the result, show the empathy is more influence factor that affected of the patient satisfaction among student UiTM Healthcare who receive treatment at UiTM Healthcare Center. Therefore, to ensure the patient satisfaction achieve greater satisfaction, the healthcare center needs to provide the best service and treat their patient well to provide greater comfort to the patient. Moreover, the provision of their staff and doctor is also needed to provide excellent customer service.